Hey everyone, welcome to the Trendcrusher podcast. I'm Peter K, aka Trendcrusher. This episode is a death metal special episode, so I had to get my good friend and fellow death metal fiend Aditya Rao, aka Toila. Hey Aditya.
Hey Peter, what's up, man? Good to see you nice and early in the day today.
Yeah, man. But it's all worth it because it's not every day that you get to speak to legends. And, I don't use this term lightly because the band we actually spoke to are truly pioneers of the death metal genre.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Definitely. I will have to agree with that.
So we're going to hold that thought for a couple of minutes because I thought we'd warm up everyone with some Indian death metal. And we'd like to play a track by an Indian band called Kill the King. The band's self-titled album is out this week. Aditya, have you heard the band?
Yeah, I've seen them live. I think we drove down to Pune once for a Godless League and they were one of the bands performing. Pretty killer stuff, man. Pretty killer stuff. I
Yeah,
had to yet hear the album. But yeah, the one track that they put out, I liked it. Yeah.
yeah. They've been slowly kind of making their mark in the Indian scene. They released a couple of singles, and I'm so glad that they've finally got their self-titled album out. Uh, a quick thing from their press note. It says Kill the King demonstrates the entire premise that the band revolves on, which is to stand up to any form of injustice or oppression. I think it's pretty strong stuff.
Yeah, it's like proper thrash metal ethos in there, like fuck the system type stuff. So yeah, it's great to hear something from them, man. Like something fresh to hear too from our scene itself.
Awesome. So here's the single Hate Advocacy. And that was Kill the King with Hate Advocacy of their self-titled album. If you enjoyed it, head over to their Bandcamp. I've left the link in the show notes. Okay, now let's get on to this episode's interview. Aditya, do you think the band needs any introduction?
I mean, if you do listen to death metal, I don't think it does. But yeah, man, go ahead, tell them who we are speaking to today.
We're speaking to Suffocation. The band's 11th album, Hymns from the Apocrypha, is out this week. And yeah, I mean, I was really kicked to get a chance to speak to their vocalist, Ricky Myers. That's why I had to get you on this episode, Aditya. I know, like, you're easily one of the
Thanks
biggest
a lot, man.
Suffocation fan. Yeah, I think, you know what? Let's just cut straight to our chat with Rick Myers from Suffocation. Hi, Rick. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, hi. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we're actually speaking a day before the reason of Suffocation's 11th full-length album, Hymns from the Apocrypha. And, you know, this is actually a very special album because you've been part of the band as a live vocalist for 8 years, but this is your first album as a vocalist. So how does it feel now that the album's all set to be released and going to be out tomorrow?
It's really exciting, man. I've been waiting a long time for this. So I worked really hard at it, and and I'm really excited, and I can't wait till Friday.
All right. And Ricky, I remember seeing you live with Suffocation in India when you had come down. And you know, it was like an absolutely like fucking mental set and stuff. So could you just tell us, about your experience playing here?
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. We had a good time down there.
Yeah. And also just leading into another question, you know, how was your reaction when you got a call to, you know, fill in for Frank? And, you know, because there's like some legendary shoes to fill in. And, you know, what was your reaction? And, you know, how did you take this challenge head on? Because when I saw you live, you sounded exactly like him. And now you brought your own style to it in this new album. So, you know, could you just tell us the whole journey?
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking actually, because I was a drummer first. So I've never done vocals in any other band but this band. So it was different animal coming out to the front and have to look at the audience and like and deal with that. But it was very nervous and stuff. I was very nervous. But you know what? It's all working out now. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I have to also ask, and building on what Aditya said, right, is how's the reaction been from the audience itself, right? I mean, it's not easy. And let's be honest, I think like death metal fans are easily one of the most opinionated fans. Social media has not made it easier also, right? So has there been times where, you know, you also just kind of have to mentally prepare yourself that, hey, this is like Suffocation? Because
absolutely. I mean, you're going to get Frank. Frank's a legend. I know that, you know, and I'm not trying to fill his shoes. I'm not trying to be Frank, you know, I'm just trying to make the fan base happy, you know, as long as, you know, the band and the fan base is happy, then I don't care what really anybody says, you know. I mean, in the end, if you don't like it, you know, just don't listen to it. And I think it was a problem because I haven't been on an album yet, so they couldn't really judge me yet. They were just going by live. And so the two new songs that have come out as singles have done pretty well. So I'm hopefully they'll like the whole album. You know? I think they will.
Yeah, and to talk about hymns of Apocrypha, right? One of the interesting Apocrypha, yeah, sorry. One of the interesting things I found is a quote by Terence Hobbs about the album, where he said, "We have a little more progressive riffage on the new stuff." So take me back to the moment when he kind of shared some of those riffs. What was your reaction now that you knew you were going to be part of this album and recording it? What did you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, Terrence is a gifted guitar player. I mean, he comes up with the rhythms and he takes his time with them. And actually, Charlie Arrigo, our other guitar player, he actually wrote the second song. He actually wrote a lot, like 3 songs on this album. Him and Hobbs split it. So they both came up with very, very cool and unique new songs and stuff. So yeah, we're pleased with it, man. We're really excited because we're kind of bringing back some of the old stuff too, you know. So yeah, we're really digging it, man. It's cool.
Yeah, and actually, that I'm glad you brought it up and we didn't. Is there was like a hark back, and I think like there's something for the older fans, if I may use the term, right? There is a hark back to the older sound, but there's also like this freshness in just the overall sound itself. Was that a conscious decision of working that way?
For me, vocal wise, yeah, I really wanted to stay with the effigy and Pierce from Within, those eras. So I wanted my voice deeper and a little bit more brutaler. Not saying that Frank wasn't brutal, but at the end there, it was a little bit different, you know. And I want to just go back a little bit to the older style for me. And same with Charlie, you know. And he brought back some old school stuff too with his riffage. And with him and Terrence both combining rhythms, it worked out good.
Okay, so since you've written the lyrics of the album, right, I have to ask you, and I found a good quote from the press release where you said, like, the lyrics are about divine entities deceiving mankind with lies and delusions through ancient scriptures. Did you, since this was the first time you were writing a Suffocation album, how different was your process compared to your past experiences with even say Disgorge, for example?
Yeah, it was a big difference, obviously. I mean, I wrote a lot of lyrics in Disgorge, but it wasn't until I joined Suffocation that, you know, I learned a lot. I really learned a lot. You know, they're storytellers. You know, they like to, you know, it likes to go with the rhythm. So there's a lot in play there. So I had to do my studying and stuff like that, study Frank, the patterns and all that stuff, just so I could continue to keep the formula going. But yeah, I love it. So I mean, it's pretty cool, man. I love writing lyrics, man. It's really fun.
Okay, awesome. So I think we've talked quite a bit about the album. Now let's give everyone a taste from it. So we would like to play a song on the episode. Which one would you recommend we play and why?
I'm gonna go with Immortal, Execration. That's a song that Charlie had wrote, and it's very brutal. It's probably one of the heavier songs we have on the album. And yeah, we sat hours and hours of FaceTime. I mean, for months, me and him just going through like, should we sing here? Should we stop here? And we like it was a big process when we wrote his songs. And yeah, I think this one really came out really good with a new twist on it for us. So
awesome. So here's the track.
With sorrow and
that was Suffocation, and I'm still speaking to Ricky Myers. Now, one of the things I noticed, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time an album was engineered and co-produced by the band, and this time it was done at Hobbs and Boyer's studio, which is in Long Island, called Inline Studio. Uh, how different do you feel the process was, just bringing everything in-house this time? And what are some of the learnings that you think as a band you all will take forward to future album recordings if you'll continue this process?
I think Terrence did his work. He studied a lot about what he needed to do, mic wise and stuff like that. They already knew how to like record, mix, and stuff like that. So when we got the opportunity, we got all the equipment and stuff, and it worked out. I mean, it was easy going. We took our time. As much as we could, but you feel comfortable. It's a room that we also rehearse in. So Hobbs lives there, Derek lives there, so we're very comfortable there. So when we did it, it was just like another day. It was like no pressure or anything like that. But yeah, I dug it, man. I'm sure we'll be doing more.
Okay, and this album also marks the second time that you all worked with Christian Donaldson, who actually first worked with you all on the live album, live in North America. So how did now that rapport kind of develop or build?
There was multiple producers that were in line to do the album, but we just felt Donaldson was the best way to go. He was a friend of ours, first of all. He plays in Cryptopsy. And we've known him for years, and we've been talking about it. And we just said, let's just go with Christian, man. We feel comfortable with him. And he really wanted to do it. He really wanted to make this album, special. And I think he nailed it, man. He took a lot of time, and he knew what sound we were looking for, man. And he really did a good job.
Yeah. So Ricky, Suffocation, as you said, you have in this album, you have sounds to sort of, which are sort of like a throwback to the older albums, and you have your own stuff. And Suffocation is known for that, being that like a band that's managed to evolve continuously while maintaining a semblance to their trademark sound that they had in like an effigy. Yeah. So, sonically speaking, where would you place this album? What's the closest Suffocation album you could think of when you heard this album back to back after it is done?
Man, I don't know. I would have to say it had to be in the effigy pierced Despise the Sun era for me. It's got the longness, but I don't know, just something about it that's like, it's really brutal. This album seems pretty brutal to me, and I'm not just saying because I know I'm on the album, but it just does to me. It feels good, it feels right, and I think Donaldson just nailed it, like what he wanted. He was going for the Pierce from Within kind of sound that he wanted to do, and we kind of took it from there.
All right, and you personally, and the band Suffocation have been like one of the OGs of the death metal scene. Like you guys have been around the yard a couple of times right now. So, how have you seen the death metal scene as a whole evolving? And do you think nowadays it has more of an appeal than when you guys started off, either in, Suffocation or you in Disgorge as such?
Yeah, it seems like it, and I would have to say that the deathcore thing, that is also getting big. You got Lorna Shore and stuff like that. It's a different genre, but it's still brutal. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's metal, and still, to me, I can still put it in the same thing as death metal, But I don't know. I think it's going good, man. I think everybody's starting to come out to the shows, and you got Morbid Angel coming out with a new album. You got all these bands. Love and Creation is going to be coming out. All these old school bands are going to be coming out with new stuff. So I think it's going to come back around.
Yeah, and since you're talking about old school bands, right? I mean, Incantation released a new album this year, and we're actually talking a few days before your North American tour with Incantation's Skeletal Remains and Stabbing. So for those tuned in to this episode and may end up catching you in North America, what's the set list that they can expect from this tour, and how many songs from Hymns from Apocrypha can they find as part of it?
I believe we're going to be playing 4 new songs on this tour, and I'm not going to say what they are yet, but we're going to be playing 4 new songs, and then we'll fill in the other ones with the older songs and stuff like that. But it'll be cool. It's going to be a good set. We already made the setup, but I'm not going to let it
out yet. Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's also interesting, right? With like a career that spans 3 decades, you always, I mean, Aditya knows this, and we keep ribbing, right? I mean, no matter how many times you see Iron Maiden, you still want to see them play the classics, right? You still want to see them play.
Exactly. I mean, we call them the bangers. We got to play the bangers. You know, you got to play Leave, you got to play Funeral Inception, you got to play Infecting the Crypts. You got, so yeah, there's definitely some songs that we're gonna have to put in there, and we might rotate some songs out too. We got so many songs now that we can just start picking and choosing. We're just taking songs in and taking them out. So yeah, we got a plethora of songs to choose from.
Okay, fair enough. So I also noticed you've got a European tour coming up, and I don't know exactly how to say the first band name, so I'm not gonna like butcher it up.
Sanguisugabog.
Yeah, we're going on tour with them and Enterprise Earth, so that should be a really good tour, man.
Yeah, and in Organ Tech. Yeah, with them also.
Yeah, Organ Tech.
Yeah, it's sick.
So, what I'm sure that's also going to be a crazy tour, and I think like Europe also is a market which is kind of like really hungry for metal bands at the moment.
Europe's awesome. Yeah, Europe is awesome, man. I'm sure it's going to do really good, and we got Sengwa has never been out there either, so they should do good. So yeah, it's gonna be a really good tour, man. We're excited. These next two tours are gonna be really good. We got Stabbing coming too with us in the U.S. and they're brutal, so should be cool.
Yeah,
they got a new lineup too as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what?
They got a new lineup now as well, right? Stabbing.
Yeah, I haven't heard the lineup yet. I don't know if it's out yet, but I do know they got 2 new members. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they did announce yesterday or something like that.
Did they? Okay, I'll have to go look. I know Bridget said something to me that they were going to announce it soon, but I haven't looked yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it may be a little too early, but you can just drop hints and maybe continents. But what are the plans for the band for 2024 that you can share so far?
2024, we got a little bit. We got Australia, New Zealand. We're going Japan. We got a whole U.S. tour or U.S. tour and a world tour lined up. So we're gonna be busy the next couple of years. I'm assuming.
Okay.
Also, I don't know how much I can say about this, but they're doing a part 2 of Deathgasm, the movie. You're familiar with this movie? But yeah, they're coming out with a part 2, and we'll probably be a part of that also.
I hope guys do come to India soon, though.
Listen, I mean, you guys want us to come, we'll come. It's just a matter of our management getting together and figuring it out. I'm sure we will. I'm almost positive we will.
Yeah, because the last show was pretty sick when I saw you guys, man. You guys that.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm sure we're going to come back. I'm positive of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think this is a bonus question since we still have time. But one of the things I've noticed about you is at least you've got your pulse on what's currently happening and what kind of bands are there, right? So I know it's kind of tough when you're like in the recording phase and things like that, but especially when you're touring, has there been any bands, I don't know, death metal if you want to talk about them, or maybe even non-death metal bands, maybe surprises with a black metal band that you've been kind of listening to and kind of feel that all our listeners should kind of know about?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of Whitechapel lately. Whitechapel and Lorna Shore, they're sick. Man, there's so many bands coming out nowadays. Crown Magnetter. There's so many good bands coming out, man. It's really cool to see. I mean, I wouldn't actually put them in the genre of death metal, I guess. They're deathcore, they're saying. But if it's brutal, man, it's brutal. To me, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Lorna Shore vocalist kind of went viral for like all his covers and stuff like that. And I think that's been getting them a lot of attention. But
and it's weird because they got that Immortal Disfigurement, which was CJ, the old singer for Lorna Shore, the band. And they're brutal as fuck, man. They're brutal. They're real good.
Yeah, I mean, with some of these, I think, especially with Lorna Shore, until they did those playthrough videos, you kind of are like, is this for real? Like, is this actually happening? Can he actually do this? Right?
Yeah, man, those kids are sick. They're really good.
Yeah. Okay.
They're doing everything right, man. They're taking it right now, so that's killer.
Yeah. But we have to kind of wrap up at this. So, last words, anything you'd like to add for all the listeners and stuff? It's your space.
Yeah, man. Go get Hands from the Apocrypha. Check it out. See if you like it. And we hope you enjoyed it as much as we do.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ricky. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
and
I appreciate it.
see you in India soon, I guess.
All right, brother. We'll see you guys soon.
Cheers.
See you, man.
Bye.
And that was Ricky Myers of Suffocation. Can you believe we spoke to him, Aditya?
No, not at all, man. Like, I didn't imagine my Thursday, 5 a.m. on a Thursday, I would be talking to, Ricky from Suffocation, man. So, yeah, great way to start the day. All pumped up right now.
Yeah, no need for pre-workout, I guess.
Yeah.
But
For the pre-workout I need today.
But quick reactions on the album, because you've heard it also. And I think, honestly, this is easily one of their strongest albums. I'm so glad that he didn't say, this is our heaviest and brutalist album yet. I think he could see that we truly knew that and was not trying to sell that. But yeah, man, if you enjoy Suffocation, I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all.
Yeah, true, man. Like, I got like a preview of them all thanks to you. And yeah, from the first impression that I heard that it is pretty fucking brutal. The songwriting's changed a bit as compared to the last two releases. Also, it's the first one with the new vocalist as well. So, I mean, if you had any expectations in it, this is an album that wouldn't really disappoint. So yeah, I mean, it's a top-notch album, man. It is a top-notch album.
Oh, for sure. And I think really kudos to the band, because like we've talked about so many different bands in the past, right? And you don't expect like 3 decades into their career for them to be releasing such strong material. And yeah, I think definitely this is an album I'm going to continue listening to later on this year.
And I think it's like, if you see, it's like been a good year for like death, like even the older death metal bands in general. I really haven't heard the new Incantation album, but I've heard good stuff about it. Suffocate, this album's particular. Cannibal Corpse put out a great album. Who else? Dying Fetus did. Cryptopsy. So yeah, who else? I think who did Immolation? No. Yeah, so yeah, as far as I can, Afterbirth, yeah, they put out a banger of an album as well. So overall, it's been like a good year for like these old guard, back in the day bands, stuff like that. And I'm like, if you ask me, I'm like a happy, camper. So fuck it, yeah, man, it's insane. I'm just happy, these bands are still out there delivering their goods all the time.
And if you enjoyed the single that we played from their latest album, do check out it. There's the link to stream, purchase in the show notes. Before I sign off, as always, if you are a band or a label and you want me to interview or just play a song from an album or single, you can get in touch with me via my email. It's trendcrusher@gmail.com, or you can just search me up on social media. Just search Trendcrusher. Aditya, how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, man, you can just hit me up on Instagram. It's Aditya Rao, my name, and yeah, you'll find me there. Hopefully.
Awesome. So that's all from us. I hope you really enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you all very soon. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Cheers.